The Viridian Alliance's flagship, Eternal Dawn, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol system, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in waves of emerald and gold. High Commander Lyra Tell stood at the observation deck, her four-fingered hands clasped behind her back, as she studied the third planet with an intensity that made her junior officers nervous. "It's been 3 standard cycles since our first transmission," she said, breaking the tense silence. 3 cycles of watching their civilization flourish while they ignore every diplomatic overture we've made. The blue-green planet below showed all the hallmarks of an advanced civilization: sprawling metropolises, orbital installations, and a constant stream of atmospheric traffic. Yet, unlike any other species the Alliance had encountered in its 10,000 years of existence, humanity had never acknowledged their presence. "Commander," her science officer Van approached with a data crystal. "The latest analysis confirms what we suspected. They're not just ignoring us. They're actively avoiding any direct response. When we broadcast on one frequency, they shift their communications to others. When we position our probes near their space stations, they adjust orbital paths to maintain distance." Lyra's iridescent scales shifted from their usual calm blue to a troubled violet. "Show me." The holographic display flickered to life, showing hundreds of incidents over the past 3 cycles. Earth's satellites performing subtle course corrections, communication frequencies shifting in perfect patterns to dodge Alliance broadcasts, space debris mysteriously redirecting itself to block scanning attempts. "It's like watching a dance," Ven marveled. "Every move we make, they counter with such precision that it appears natural. If I hadn't analyzed the patterns myself, I'd never believe it was deliberate." The display shifted to show Earth's night side. Cities blazed with light, forming intricate patterns that spoke of a civilization at least as advanced as the Alliance. Their energy signatures suggested technologies that should have made them eager for interstellar contact. "What troubles me most," Lyra said, "is not their silence, but their unity in maintaining it." She gestured at the planet. "We've observed their politics, their conflicts, their divisions, yet in this one matter, responding to us, they act as one. No rogue nations attempting contact, no independent organizations breaking ranks, no individual humans trying to reach us despite their government's wishes." Her second-in-command, Sarah, stepped forward. "Perhaps they fear us." "No." Lyra shook her head. "Fear produces chaos, desperate attempts at defense or appeasement. This," she waved at the display, "this is different. They go about their lives as if we don't exist, yet every action shows they're acutely aware of our presence." The bridge fell silent as they watched a space station smoothly adjust its orbit, its movement so natural that only their advanced analytics revealed it was deliberately increasing distance from an Alliance probe. "High Commander," Sarah ventured carefully, "the Council grows impatient. They've never encountered a species that didn't either accept membership or require convincing. They're suggesting a more direct approach." Lyra's scales rippled with concern. In 10 millennia, the Alliance had encountered countless civilizations. Some joined willingly, eager for the benefits of membership. Others required diplomatic pressure, or, rarely, military intervention. But all of them had engaged in some way. Humanity's silent dance of avoidance was unprecedented. "Look there," she pointed to a cluster of satellites. As they watched, the satellites performed what appeared to be routine maintenance adjustments. But the pattern, they're spelling something in Alliance standard. The bridge crew leaned forward as computers translated the subtle movements. 3 words appeared in their heads-up displays. "Not yet ready." Lyra felt her scales shift to the deep purple of profound uncertainty. In all her years of service, she'd never encountered anything like this. A species advanced enough to decode Alliance standard, coordinated enough to maintain perfect silence across their entire civilization, and subtle enough to communicate through the choreographed movements of satellites. "Send word to the Council," she said finally. Tell them we need more time. There's something here we don't understand, and forcing the issue would be a grave mistake. As the message was dispatched, Lyra continued watching the planet below. For a moment, she thought she saw the satellite cluster shift again, forming what looked remarkably like a smile. The silence spoke volumes, she realized. The question was whether the Alliance was ready to hear what it was saying. Deep beneath the Himalayas, in a facility known only as Watchtower Alpha, Director Sarah Chen stood before a wall of holographic displays. Each screen showed a different alien vessel, with the Viridian flagship Eternal Dawn taking center stage. The room hummed with quiet energy as hundreds of analysts worked at their stations, monitoring every movement in Earth's vicinity. "They're starting to understand," she said to her chief strategist, Dr. James Okafor. "The Viridians, they're picking up on our patterns." James nodded, his fingers dancing across a neural interface as he adjusted Earth's orbital defense grid. "That's why we chose them to be first. Out of all the civilizations we've observed, they're the most likely to comprehend without reacting poorly." The truth that humanity had kept hidden for over a century was displayed across the room's screens. Not just the Viridians, but dozens of spacefaring civilizations appeared in the monitors. Some were centuries ahead of Earth in certain technologies, others barely achieving interstellar travel, all of them unaware that humanity had been watching, learning, and preparing. "Update from Lunar Base," a young analyst called out. "The Arcturian fleet just passed through the Kuiper Belt. Still no indication they've detected our presence." Sarah walked between the rows of workstations, each showing different aspects of Earth's hidden infrastructure. Quantum computers processed data from probes scattered throughout the galaxy. Advanced AI systems predicted movement patterns of various alien civilizations. Stealth satellites maintained Earth's carefully crafted appearance of a somewhat advanced but unremarkable civilization. "Show me the timeline," she commanded. A new hologram appeared, showing humanity's first detection of alien life nearly 100 years ago. It hadn't been through radio signals or space exploration, but through something far more surprising: dreams. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, their head of tenopsychology, approached with a tablet. The mass dreams continue to intensify. Last night, 43% of the global population reported shared visions of the Galactic Library. This was humanity's greatest secret, somehow through means they still didn't fully understand. Humans had begun sharing dreams of an ancient repository of knowledge. Not all humans experienced them, but those who did saw fragments of advanced technology, star maps, and warnings about the complex politics of galactic civilization. "The Viridians' patience is wearing thin," James noted, showing a psychological analysis of their command crew. "Their council is pushing for more aggressive action." Sarah's expression remained calm, but her eyes betrayed concern. "We knew this would happen. Are we ready for the next phase?" A massive screen descended from the ceiling, showing Earth's true defensive capabilities. Quantum shields layered throughout the solar system. Temporal displacement engines hidden in every major city. Technology that even the most advanced alien civilizations wouldn't develop for centuries. "Ready," James confirmed. "Though I still don't understand why we don't simply reveal ourselves now. We clearly have the technological advantage." Sarah turned to face the room. "Because technology isn't everything. The dreams showed us more than just scientific knowledge. They showed us the price of revealing too much, too soon." She gestured to the displays showing various alien civilizations. "Look at them. Each society advancing at its own pace, making its own mistakes, learning its own lessons. If we revealed everything we know, it would shatter their development," Elena finished, just as the dreams warned. "The galaxy isn't ready for what we've learned." An alert flashed across the main screen. The Viridian Council had made a decision. Their patience had run out. "They're mobilizing their fleet," an analyst reported. "Multiple battle groups converging on our system." Sarah straightened her uniform, a subtle smile playing at her lips. "Good. Right on schedule." She turned to James. "Initiate Protocol Omega. It's time to show them just enough to make them think twice, but not enough to reveal our full hand. Around Earth, invisible systems began powering up. In the watchtower, hundreds of humans worked in coordinated silence, preparing for the moment when humanity would finally speak, not with words, but with actions that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of their species. "You know," Alina said softly, "the dreams never showed us how this confrontation ends." Sarah's smile widened slightly. "That's because some things even the ancients couldn't predict. Sometimes silence isn't about hiding. It's about waiting for the right moment to be heard." As the Viridian fleet approached, humanity prepared to break its silence in a way that would echo across the galaxy. But even then, it would be a carefully orchestrated revelation, showing just enough to maintain the balance the dreams had warned was so crucial to preserve. The time had come for humanity to speak, but they would do so on their own terms, with their own voice, in their own way. The Viridian battle fleet emerged from hyperspace in waves, their ships forming a perfect geometric pattern around Earth's orbit. Nearly 300 vessels, their crystalline hulls gleaming with barely contained energy. A show of force meant to demand respect from a civilization that had, until now, refused to acknowledge their existence. In Watchtower Alpha, Sarah Chen watched the deployment with the calm demeanor of someone who had rehearsed this moment countless times. Their positioning exactly as our simulations predicted. Begin countermeasures. Across Earth's cities, life continued as normal. People went to work, children played in parks, and daily routines remained uninterrupted. But beneath this facade of normalcy, humanity's hidden systems sprang into action. High Commander Lyra Tell's voice boomed across all frequencies, transmitted in every human language simultaneously. "People of Earth, your silence ends today. The Viridian Alliance demands acknowledgement. You have one planetary rotation to respond, or we will be forced to demonstrate the consequences of defying galactic law." In the Watchtower's command center, James Okafor checked the final calculations. All systems aligned. "Ready on your mark, Director." Sarah nodded, her voice carrying to every human facility across the solar system. "Execute Protocol Omega. Remember, subtle but unmistakable, we're not trying to start a war, we're trying to prevent one." The response began slowly, almost imperceptibly. First, the Viridian fleet's sensors began detecting anomalies, small distortions in spacetime that their instruments couldn't quite measure. Then their quantum communications started experiencing delays, microseconds at first, then milliseconds, building in a pattern that couldn't be natural. On the Eternal Dawn's bridge, Lyra's scales shifted to alarm yellow as reports flooded in. "Something's interfering with our systems," her science officer reported. "But there's no energy signature, no point of origin. It's as if space itself is playing with us." Lyra finished, watching as their perfectly positioned fleet began to drift. Not enough to be dangerous, but enough to disrupt their formation. Every correction their pilots made seemed to lag just slightly, making precise positioning impossible. In Watchtower Alpha, Alina Rodriguez monitored the psychological impact. They're beginning to understand. Fear levels rising, but not to dangerous levels. Mostly confusion and fascination. The next phase began. Across Earth's surface, hidden quantum arrays activated. To the Viridian sensors, it would appear as if reality itself was becoming fluid. Their scans of Earth's surface began showing impossible readings, cities that seemed to exist in multiple places at once, energy signatures that appeared and disappeared like ghostly echoes. By the first light, Lyra whispered, watching her display show multiple versions of Earth's defense capabilities, each reading contradicting the others. How are they doing this? In the depths of her dreams, she remembered stories from her childhood. Tales of the ancient ones who could bend reality itself, who had vanished eons ago, leaving only mysteries behind. But surely, a message appeared on her command screen, written in perfect Alliance standard. The silence was not fear, nor arrogance, nor hostility. It was patience. "We have watched, we have learned, and we have prepared. Not for war, but for understanding. Are you ready to listen?" Sarah Chen's voice echoed through every ship in the Viridian fleet, somehow bypassing all their communication systems. High Commander Lyra Tell, your respect for discovery and your reluctance to rush to judgment has not gone unnoticed. That's why we chose your people to be first. But this demonstration is not just for you. As if on cue, sensors detected multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Representatives from other spacefaring races, drawn by the Viridian fleet's movement. They too would witness what happened here. Humanity's silence, Sarah continued, was a choice. A choice to wait until we could speak not just with words, but with wisdom. Your alliance is young, younger than you know. There are things in this galaxy older than all our civilizations combined. We have been entrusted with knowledge that must be shared carefully, gradually, or it could destroy everything we all hold dear. The quantum distortions increased, and for just a moment, every ship in the Viridian fleet caught a glimpse of Earth's true face. Massive structures extending into higher dimensions, technology that defied their understanding of physics, and something else, echoes of ancient powers that even humanity had only begun to comprehend. Then, as quickly as it had begun, everything returned to normal. Earth appeared as it had before, a beautiful blue planet going about its business. But now everyone watching knew that appearance was only the surface of a much deeper truth. In Watchtower Alpha, Sarah watched the Viridian fleet's reaction. "Send the final message," she ordered. "Then we wait." Across every screen in the Viridian fleet, words appeared one last time. "We will speak further when you are ready. Until then, we maintain our silence not out of disrespect, but out of hope for what we might all become together." Deep within the lunar crust, in a chamber that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, Sarah Chen and High Commander Lyra Tell stood before a sight that defied conventional understanding. The Galactic Library, or at least the small portion of it that humanity had chosen to reveal, stretched out before them in impossible geometries. "What you're seeing," Sarah explained, watching Lyra's scales shift through colors of awe and disbelief, "is less than 1% of what we've discovered. Even this much took us decades to learn how to safely access." The chamber was alive with holographic displays, quantum matrices, and artifacts that seemed to fade in and out of existence. But most striking were the dream crystals, crystalline structures that pulsed with the collective unconscious experiences of humanity's shared visions. "Your species," Lyra struggled to find words, "you're not just caretakers of this knowledge, are you? You're part of it somehow." Sarah led them past rows of impossible technology, each carefully contained within quantum fields. "We didn't choose this role. The library chose us. Or more accurately, it recognized something in us that was already there." They stopped before a central display showing the galaxy's spiral arms. Countless points of light marked various civilizations, most unknown to the Alliance. "Humans have always been dreamers, Lyra. While other species evolved focusing on immediate survival, we spent our nights building vast worlds in our minds. When the library's signal reached Earth, it didn't find the most advanced civilization, or the strongest, or the wisest. It found the species that could dream big enough to handle its contents." Lyra watched as the display shifted, showing the rise and fall of countless civilizations throughout history. "The Council believes they understand power," she said softly. "They think in terms of fleets and weapons and territorial control. But this is true power, isn't it? And that's exactly why we had to wait," Sarah replied. "Imagine if we had revealed this when you first contacted us. Imagine how many would have tried to seize it by force, not understanding that force is meaningless here. The library can only be accessed by those it deems ready." They moved deeper into the facility, where teams of humans worked alongside advanced AI systems, studying and cataloging the library's contents. "Every human who experiences the dreams becomes part of the network," Sarah explained. "We share the knowledge, process it collectively, understand it gradually. It's why we could never respond to your transmissions. We needed to be certain that first contact wouldn't disrupt this process. Lyra stopped before a section showing temporal mechanics far beyond her civilization's understanding. Why show me this now? Because you proved yourself different. Sarah smiled. When your fleet arrived ready for conflict, you still hesitated. You questioned. You observed. The library shows us many possible futures, Commander. In most of them, first contact leads to disaster. But in the futures where we reveal ourselves to you, specifically you, something different happens. They reached the heart of the facility, where a massive crystal structure pulsed with impossible colors. This is just the beginning, Sarah said. The library isn't just a collection of knowledge, it's a test. Every civilization that reaches the stars eventually encounters it, or its representatives. Most aren't ready. Some never will be. But together. The crystal flared, and suddenly Lyra understood. Images flooded her mind. The Alliance and humanity working together, gradually preparing other species for the truth, building something greater than either civilization could achieve alone. We need you, Sarah said simply. Not your fleet, not your council, but you and others like you who can understand that power isn't about control, it's about responsibility. The library showed us that humanity couldn't handle this alone. We need partners who can dream with us. Lyra's scales settled into a deep, thoughtful blue. The council won't understand. Not at first. They don't need to. Sarah replied. Not yet. What matters is that you understand. The silence is ending. Commander telephone, but what comes next depends on all of us. Around them, the library pulsed with potential futures, each one a dream waiting to be realized. And for the first time, those dreams were no longer humanity's alone. 1 year after the revelation of the library, the Sol system had become something unprecedented in galactic history. Not a fortress or a seat of power, but a place of learning. Where once the Viridian fleet had come to demand compliance, now ships from carefully selected worlds arrived carrying those chosen to share in humanity's dreams. In a meditation chamber aboard the International Space Station, Sarah Chen and Lyra Tell watched Earth rotate below while representatives from 12 different species experienced their first shared dream nearby. Their neural patterns are stabilizing. Sarah noted, checking the quantum readouts. This group is adapting faster than the previous ones. Lyra's scales shimmered with pride. The selection protocol you helped us develop is proving remarkably accurate. Though I still find it fascinating that the best candidates are rarely the ones our societies would traditionally choose as leaders. The library doesn't care about rank or status. Sarah smiled. It responds to potential. The ability to dream beyond what is to what could be. The station's walls shifted, becoming transparent as another layer of reality phased into view. The library's influence had transformed the facility into something that existed simultaneously in normal space and higher dimensions. To the outside world, it appeared as a standard space station. But for those who could perceive it, it was a nexus of impossible knowledge and potential. The Council is still demanding more direct access, Lyra said, her scales rippling with concern. They don't understand why we can't simply download the library's contents into our networks. Sarah gestured at the dreaming aliens nearby. Show them what happened when we tried that in the beginning. The air between them filled with images of quantum computers burning out, AI systems collapsing into recursive loops, and entire networks crashing as they tried to process information that required a biological dreaming mind to comprehend. The library isn't just information, Sarah continued. It's alive in its own way. It doesn't just want to be accessed. It wants to be understood. That's why it chose to communicate through dreams. Dreams are how consciousness processes the impossible, shapes it into something meaningful. A soft chime indicated that the shared dream session was ending. Around them, the alien representatives began stirring, their eyes opening to reveal the same mix of awe and understanding that every successful candidate showed. I think I finally understand why you chose silence for so long, Lyra said. You weren't hiding. You were learning how to teach. Sarah nodded. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our knowledge of the library. It's our ability to share dreams, to help others see possibilities they never imagined. But that only works if they're ready to see. The station's quantum fields hummed as another group of candidates approached Earth orbit. Below, the planet continued its daily rhythm, most of its population still going about their normal lives. But now there was a shared understanding among all humans. They were no longer just dreamers, but dream teachers for a galaxy it was slowly awakening to greater possibilities. The silence served its purpose. Sarah said, watching the new arrivals dock. Now it's time for a new song, one we'll all write together. Lyra's scales shifted to a deep, peaceful gold. And what do your dreams show of this future we're building? Sarah smiled, gesturing at the gathered representatives. Former enemies and strangers now united in shared purpose. Something better than any single species could dream alone. The library didn't choose humanity because we were special, Lyra. It chose us because we could teach others how to be special too. As if in response, the library's quantum matrices pulsed, sending ripples of possibility through the station. In meditation chambers throughout the facility, representatives of a dozen species shared the same dream. A galaxy united not by force or fear, but by the shared ability to imagine something greater than themselves. The silence had ended, but its lesson remained. Sometimes the greatest power lies not in what you say, but in waiting until others are ready to hear it, and in teaching them not just to listen, but to dream alongside you.